Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to unravel a pretty amazing story, one that actually unfolds quietly in our homes every single day. We're tracing the hidden journey of tea, all the way from a distant leaf directly to your cup.
All right, let's dive right in. Picture this. It's 6 a.m. Outside, there's a light rain falling, a cool breeze is just gently brushing past you, and right there in your hands is a warm, comforting cup of tea. You take that very first small sip, and almost instantly, it feels like life is flowing back into your body, doesn't it? The physical fatigue kind of fades away, your racing mind calms down, and suddenly the long day ahead just feels a little bit better. It's this deeply sensory, totally relatable morning experience that anchors so many of our lives.
But have you ever actually stopped to think about how this single cup reaches your hands? Because the incredible truth here is that hidden right behind this seemingly simple morning habit is an absolutely massive global journey. We're talking about thousands of kilometers, millions of laborers, mist-covered mountains, highly scientific factories, and the sprawling web of transport. It's a massive story that most of us completely miss while we're taking that morning sip.
Section 1. The story of a cup. To really get our heads around this, we got to zoom out and look at the macro view. Every single year, the world produces over 6 billion kilos of tea. 6 billion. That is enough to boggle the mind. Hundreds of millions of people kick off their day with it. Now, for some, it's just a functional drink to wake up, sure. But for countless others, it's an emotion. It's a habit. It's a fundamental part of life, whether it's the start of the morning, a shared moment with friends, or just a few minutes of peace on a really difficult day.
And all that tea, it doesn't just grow anywhere. It needs a very specific, kind of perfect climate. We're talking heavy, consistent rain, cool breezes, and incredibly fertile soil. Think of places like Assam in India. If you were standing there right now, you'd see endless green estates just disappearing into the morning mists. The mountains literally look like they're covered in this massive, lush green blanket. And beyond India, this huge global production relies on the beautiful, mist-soaked landscapes of places like China, Sri Lanka, and Kenya.
Section 2. Hard work of the gardens. But look, that gorgeous geography is really just the backdrop. Let's zoom in on the human element here, the intense, grueling labor that happens long before the sun even comes up. Behind those pretty green postcards is an incredibly demanding reality. Around 4 or 5 a.m., when most of the world is still fast asleep, the work in the tea gardens has already begun. Laborers arrive at these misty, wet, freezing mountains with empty baskets. And for hours upon hours, they endure endless bending, navigating slippery slopes, and meticulously plucking leaves by hand. It's a harsh, physically taxing environment, and it really humanizes those massive production numbers we just talked about.
And here's an absolutely crucial point. They aren't just grabbing handfuls of leaves at random. No way. The golden rule of tea plucking is 2 leaves and 1 bud. That's it. That is the absolute freshest top part of the plant. If they make a mistake and pick older, lower leaves, it can completely ruin both the flavor and the quality of the entire batch. So this isn't just basic manual labor. It's a highly refined intergenerational skill passed down through families just to ensure you get that perfect cup.
You know, it's not just massive corporate estates doing all this meticulous work either. Actually, small village farmers are the true backbone of the global tea industry. In many villages in India and across the world, entire families rely on very small patches of land just to survive. I mean, the whole family, kids, parents, even grandparents, they're waking up early to pull weeds, protect the plants, and hand-pluck the leaves. A massive percentage of the world's tea supply comes directly from the hands of these really dedicated small farming families.
Section 3. One plant, many teas. Okay, so once those precious leaves are plucked, the clock starts ticking. Fast. Freshness is literally everything. Inside the factory, the raw leaf goes through this incredible scientific transformation. First up is withering, where leaves are spread out and dried to significantly drop their moisture levels. Next comes rolling, where machines gently crush and roll the leaves to release their natural oils and deep aromas. And finally, we hit the absolute most critical stage, oxidation.
Oxidation. This is the absolute game changer. It's this crucial chemical process where oxygen interacts with the cell walls of those rolled tea leaves. And get this, the duration of this exact process is what dictates the ultimate color, the strength, and the unique flavor profile of the tea you end up buying at the store. Which actually leads us to what I think is the biggest plot twist of this whole explainer.
Get ready for this incredible scientific fact. You know green tea, black tea, oolong tea, and white tea, right? They look totally different. They taste different. They're marketed differently. but they all come from the exact same plant. Yep, there is literally no such thing as a green tea plant or a black tea plant. The only difference between them is how they are processed in the factory.
It all just comes down to science, specifically oxidation. If you want green tea, you keep oxidation very low, and that preserves the green color and that light, grassy taste. For black tea, you let the leaves fully oxidize, which turns them dark and creates that strong, bold flavor we usually want with breakfast. Oolong, that sits right in the middle with a medium oxidation for a beautifully balanced flavor. And white tea has minimal to basically zero oxidation, keeping it in its most natural, delicate state. It is all the same leaf, folks, just treated with different levels of oxygen.
Section 4. Tea around the world.
So, from the factory, this finished tea sets off on a massive global journey. We're talking trucks, ships, warehouses, crossing borders to reach literally every corner of the globe. And the economic extremes in this trade are just fascinating. On one hand, you've got incredibly rare specialty teas that sell for thousands of rupees. And on the exact opposite end, you've got a 10-rupee cup of tea served at a noisy, bustling railway station. But here is the beautiful equalizer. Regardless of the price tag on the package, every single cup shares the exact same origin story of mist, rain, and intense human labor.
And as it travels, it completely adapts to the people drinking it. It evolves from a simple agricultural product into this profound cultural anchor. In India, tea connects people at railway stations and fuels hours of roadside chats among friends. Over in Japan, traditional tea ceremonies are a deep, beautiful symbol of peace and discipline. In the United Kingdom, afternoon tea is a centuries-old cultural tradition. And in Turkey, serving tea is considered the absolute ultimate sign of friendship and warm hospitality. The world has changed so drastically over the centuries, but tea? Tea has remained this constant force uniting humanity.
Section 5. Not just a drink.
Let's zoom all the way back in now, right down to that personal cup sitting on your table. In our incredibly fast-paced, modern lives, a cup of tea offers a rare moment to just pause. It's a moment of morning quiet or evening comfort. But as we've seen, tea is not just a drink. It is labor, it's culture, it's history, and it's the story of humanity all resting inside one cup. It's the product of rain, soil, freezing mornings, and generations of farming families pouring their lives into a single harvest.
So I'm going to leave you with this to ponder. Tomorrow morning, when you wrap your hands around that warm mug and you take your very first sip, are you just going to taste the beverage? Or will you now taste the distant mountain rain, the 4 a.m. labor of a small village farmer, and the thousands of years of human history that made that exact moment possible? Thank you so much for exploring this hidden journey with me today. Keep asking questions and keep learning.